Hey guys, so earlier this month we covered healthy and unhealthy relationships. We talked about something that might make you drawn to or continue to go back to, like, different types of domestic violence situations, not necessarily the same person, but what draws you to that type of dynamic in general. And then last week we talked about 8 steps from romance to murder in intimate partner homicide. This week I thought we would do a little bit of a change of pace and focus on one intimate partner homicide story in particular. There are lots that we could choose from. I chose this woman in particular because she happened to be a YouTuber, and obviously that's got a special place in my heart. So this was a fairly recent homicide at the end of 2020, who was formerly a YouTuber, and her name is Brianna Johnson. So she's who we're going to talk about a little bit today. Brianna Johnson of Houston began a YouTube channel that focused on beauty and lifestyle. It looked like mostly it was a vlog. About 4 years ago, her YouTube channel is Big Body Brie. Today her channel has almost 2,000 subscribers. And from watching her videos, she seemed like a pretty normal person, pretty self-confident. She was 28 when she died. Beautiful, happy, fun person. She seemed like anybody, you know? She wasn't terrible. She didn't deserve to die. Brianna was also a student at Texas Southern University. Brianna was described by friends as someone with a lot of confidence who deeply cared about other people. Now, she and Victor Campbell, who is 35, were in a relationship. They had actually been on a trip a week before that, celebrating together. They put pictures up on Facebook. And a video. And it looks like they're having a decent time. I mean, he looks a little cranky in the video, like maybe he didn't want to be videoed while eating, but a lot of people don't want to be videoed while eating. But even friends said that you wouldn't have known. They had no idea that there was something wrong and something darker going on in this relationship. Now, people could argue that maybe this was a fluke thing and their relationship was good up until this point. But everything that I've studied says that's not the case. In order for him to have felt like it was okay to take her life at any point, there had to have been a belief system in place there that allowed him in his mind to feel like that was okay. Maybe he had trouble with it. Maybe he just didn't know what to do to not get caught. This video is, it's sad, but I'm sad. I'm sad to need to report on it at all. So the whole thing came to light when Campbell, the boyfriend, was reported for reckless driving. Somebody called him in and reported him for recklessly driving this vehicle, so police tried to pull him over, and that didn't happen. He drove off and he led them on a police chase until he eventually ended up wrecking the car. And they arrested him for DUI. And they apparently, as part of protocol, searched the vehicle after arresting him for DUI and discovered that Brianna's body was in the trunk. According to charging documents from law enforcement, investigators placed Campbell at Brianna's apartment through surveillance cameras. He went in and out of her apartment late the evening of November 27th, according to the documents. So I guess the stuff that I was reading, the news articles, were from December. Brianna died November 27th. The cameras captured Brianna arriving home in her Honda, which investigators said was the vehicle involved in the chase, at about 5:27 p.m. So her body was discovered in the trunk of her own car after she was murdered in her apartment. So she arrived home 5:27 in the evening. Cameras captured another woman arriving at the apartment about 5.5 hours later. That woman was only there for about 15 minutes and then she left. But she has been a key witness for investigators because she's the only person, as far as I understand, who was there at all. Investigators documented that the woman told them that she saw Campbell in the unit, but she didn't see Briana. She also said that she smelled a strong odor of cleaning products when Campbell came out of the bedroom. I'm going to read this quote from one of the articles directly to you because I don't want to try to paraphrase it. The surveillance video then picks up a man in a robe leaving the apartment closer to midnight and then covering up another camera near the apartment with a cloth, despite other recording equipment still rolling unobstructed. Over the next few minutes, documents state that the man is seen backing up Johnson's Honda closer to the apartment, lining the truck with a blanket, and then going back and forth between the unit and the vehicle. Investigators said it appeared he was bending over as if he was moving something heavy. End quote. So, he tried to block cameras, a camera, so that he wouldn't be seen. He lined the back of the car before he put her body in it, probably to try to prevent from DNA. According to the reports, he didn't leave the apartment until close to 5 o'clock that next morning, when he reportedly sped away from the area in the Honda. He was arrested about 3 hours later, and that's when Brianna's body was found. What was he doing in that rest of that amount of time? We don't yet know. Maybe he was in there trying to figure out what he was going to do with her body. Maybe he was in there getting drunk or using other stuff to try to forget or to create an alibi for himself, because he still says that he doesn't remember anything that happened that night, nor does he remember the car chase the next day. Isn't that convenient? Apparently, multiple traces of human blood were found in her apartment during the search, and Campbell had multiple injuries on his face and arms consistent with human scratches when he was arrested. I imagine that she tried to fight him off. She tried to fight for her life. Campbell is being charged with her murder and is being held on a $1 million bond, and like I said, supposedly doesn't remember any of it. He also faces charges of felony evading arrest, driving while intoxicated, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. And Brianna's autopsy revealed that she was strangled to death. While there were injuries to him, at least, that we're aware of, and blood that was found in different places in her home, there hasn't been anything that has been revealed to the public that I'm aware of yet that suggests that any other type of major injury was sustained by her. But what took her life was strangulation. I have talked before a little bit about how strangulation is, if you survive it one time, it's an extreme precursor for death later, if they don't kill you in that moment. I wanted to read from you a little bit from the hotline, which is a domestic violence information website and resource, and they have, a hotline to call. They also have a chat function. I think they're a great resource. But they have a page called The Dangers of Strangulation, and they list symptoms here. So I'm going to read you those. But it says on this page that strangulation is one of a few different things that people have a really hard time with labeling as domestic violence. I've also talked on this channel before about how domestic violence is more than just being beaten. There's more that goes into it than that. You can be not being beaten. You can be being abused by being watched, stalked constantly. You can be being abused by financial abuse. There's emotional abuse, there's physical abuse, there's sexual abuse. Strangulation falls in there also as a form of abuse. It just happens to be a very potentially lethal, deadly form of abuse. So it says right above this list of symptoms, if your partner has ever put their hands around your neck or put you in a sleeper hold or used anything else to strangle you, like a scarf, a necklace, rope, belt, etc. Keep reading. We're going to read symptoms of strangulation can include a sore throat, difficulty swallowing, neck pain, hoarseness, bruising on the neck or behind your ears, discoloration on your tongue, ringing in your ears, bloodshot eyes, dizziness, memory loss, drooling, nausea or vomiting, difficulty breathing, incontinence, which means you pee yourself or poop yourself, a seizure, a miscarriage, changes in mood or personality like agitation or aggression, changes in sleep patterns, changes in vision such as blurriness or seeing double, fainted, or lost consciousness. So it used to be believed that when somebody would go to the bathroom in their clothes in a situation like this, it was because they were really scared, which would make sense if somebody is choking you and you can't breathe. And so that's what they went with logically, but it has been found through studying this more that actually when that happens, that's like right before death. That is an involuntary response of your bodies. You know, when people die, they pee and poop themselves. That's a natural thing. Your body naturally pushes that stuff out. So when that happens, when you're being strangled, your body is really close to death. The bloodshot eyes comes from suffocation, and so your capillaries, I believe it's capillaries in your eyes burst. There's a lot of associated brain damage things also with being suffocated. So then you have vision issues and also changes in your mood and personality, aggression, things like that. That's from traumatic brain injury. That's a significant thing to live with if you live. I just wanted to highlight that. I wanted to highlight Brianna. I'm going to put in video clips and pictures. I want to honor who she was. This stuff happens all the time, and I feel like so many times their stories don't get told. Most of the world doesn't know who they are or know anything about them until there's news for 5 minutes about this terrible thing that happened, and then everybody moves on. And I can't do it for everybody. I don't have the time because there's so many women, but I can honor some, and hopefully in doing that honor the memory of the others. If you are at all concerned about your safety or the safety of somebody else, I'm going to link in the description, the page for the dangers of strangulation page. But I'm also going to link in there, it's called the lethality assessment. And it says talk to your doctor or whatever, and they will explain your situation. You absolutely can do that. I would encourage you to take that somewhere and talk to somebody that can help you, for sure. I would say it's fair to assume, though, that if you are doing this on your own and you don't want somebody outside to help, which is not something I recommend at this point. If you're concerned for your life, that's the number one sign that your life is in danger. So please take that into consideration. But you can go through this and answer these questions, and I would say it's a fair assumption that the more things that you have on there, the more danger you're in. I do like that they have on there, have you ever been beaten while pregnant by this person? Have you ever actually been pregnant by this person? Because saying no because it doesn't apply to you isn't the same as saying no, it was possible and they didn't do it. They mean totally different things. So I like that this has that on there. If you're concerned about your safety or the safety of somebody else, please reach out to somebody. You can call the hotline. Their phone number is 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-7233. You can also get online. Go to thehotline.org and you can chat with them. You can read lots of information. People who try to deal with this crap by themselves die. Or they don't die physically, but they die slowly inside in a miserable existence. Please reach out. There is a GoFundMe page that's been started for funeral expenses for Brianna Johnson. I would imagine by this point the funeral has already taken place, but if that's something that you want to check out, I am going to leave that link in the description box below also. Until I see you again, stay safe. Thanks for watching. I'll do my part to keep you safe by continuing to put out weekly videos about all things related to intimate partner violence. If you haven't already, please do your part by subscribing to this channel and hitting the notification button so that you don't miss a single video. Bonus points if you share videos with people that you believe will benefit from the information. Until I see you again, stay safe.